Everybody, it's Dr. Luchin. This is the second part of the Week 2 lecture for Safety 481. The first part, and you can see right here on the screen for this week's agenda, we have a guest speaker, Frank Lanko. He's the Senior Business Career Advisor for UWW's COBE. He's a very knowledgeable individual and has lots of great information, so make sure when you're watching that, or if you've watched that, hopefully you took a lot of good notes. The second video is this one. I'm just going to cover a few things and then just kind of demonstrate what I want you to do for this week. The problem solving for this week, let me just quickly bring it up for you. I've got it here on this other screen. So it's a project I'm working on right now. I've done this analysis, but I thought it'd be interesting for you all to demonstrate that you can solve a problem like this. So I've had some complaints for some workers. The symptoms are on the screen, and they tend to align with exposure to acrid smoke. That's the term. And we've got this what we call a bonding oven, in which it feeds in several layers of slitted and stretched metal and plastic and foam. And it creates a filter media, such as the metal filter media you'd see in above an oven or stove hood. That metal that you can kind of clean off, it kind of catches grease like a grease catch. And the basic setup is that maybe the exhaust ventilation system is leaking, or maybe something is migrating from that process. So that's basically the situation. I did an air velocity test back in December, and there's air coming in, cooled air or chilled air coming in to try and cool it as it comes out of the oven, and then the oven itself has exhaust. So there's an inlet and an outlet. And so the linear velocity for the oven was about 90 to 100 feet per minute, and I've got the size of the opening where I took that sample. For the stuff coming in, the chiller velocity was about 150 to 200 feet per minute, and then I've got the approximate size of the outlet where the cool air comes downward and hits the warm or hot filter media. I want you to calculate the volumetric flow rate from each, so inlet and for stuff that's being exhausted and stuff that's coming in. The basic idea is that it should be balanced. That way, if anything was to migrate off the process, it would probably stay in the vicinity. But the complaints from workers are in other areas of the building. So calculate it, and if there's a difference, let me know the magnitude of it. And to which way is it? Is the room under positive pressure because there's too much air coming in, or is it under negative pressure because more air is being exhausted? So go ahead and calculate that. Just to give you a visual, here's sort of a back view. So here's the air chiller. Chiller's outside. It comes in and blows it downward onto the media. And then above the oven is an exhaust, and the exhaust goes out to a flare oxidizer, which breaks down any components that may be in it so we can exhaust it to the environment. Here's a side view. So here's the oven. And then the oven draws in air. This is an open space, so there's about a 28-inch space between where the media comes out of the oven and then where it gets hit by the cool air from the chiller. And so one theory is that this space here is where fumes are migrating upward and possibly spreading to other areas. Or the exhaust system above here may be leaking. That's what I want you to look at when you compare the two volumetric flow rates. All right? And just, if you will, just, write it up a little bit. You can look up you can look online, real quick search, to find out if this kind of aligns with what you calculate. Okay? Fun stuff. I've got a lot more things to share with you. This one was an easy one because I'm working on it right now. For readings, if we were to go to this week's information here, so here's the agenda that I just pulled off the screen. Here's the recording by Frank Lanko. Here's the presentation in PDF format. Here is a direct link to Frank and all of his coworkers, and so you can look on there and see how to contact them. Here's a bookmark for this video. Here's a link to directly to UW Career Services, UW Kobe Career Services, excuse me. A direct link to Handshake, an article on how to write resumes for. This is write a resume for recruiters. This one, if you had difficulty coming up with the goal setting that we did this last week, and I don't know how everybody did because I haven't graded them yet. You could use something like this career readiness competencies, and they may give you some information or some insight on maybe on some things you could use or pursue to increase your value. And then Shirley Parsons is a well-recognized and respected recruiting agency for the EHS field, and they wrote this article here, and I just want you to check it out. I just showed you the problem solving, and then this is where you upload your assignment. And finally, this is where you upload your this week's update for PPDP. I can quickly go back to that. Here's the assignments. So notes from the two videos and from the links that I just pointed out. More or less, I'm trying to provide you with helpful resources and also insights to help you, with all these projects we're working on. And so try to provide a summary and then also reflect on it, how it can help you. And I can share my my work that I'm doing with the PPD in a moment. I'm going to show you how I'm going to give you a demonstration. That's what this whole video is about anyway, of how to use both LinkedIn and Indeed to search for positions using different types of keywords and locations and trying to collect and evaluate jobs that are posted. And we're going to data mine some of the language and concepts provided in those job postings to improve both our resume and our LinkedIn profile. And so I'll show you that. So 2 tables, and I'll show you that in a moment. Problem solving, you just talked about. And then for this week's PPDP, what I want you to do is kind of revisit the goals you came up with last week. And, I think we're going to be updating them, changing the wording a little bit, maybe getting more details on how we're going to do it, and actually then start reporting some of the things that we've done to try to move toward those initial goals. Just give me 1 second to find mine. Okay, I got to bring it over and zoom it. So I spent some time this morning. I kind of made an appointment with myself to do some of this work Sunday morning when I'm drinking my morning coffee. So I have some broader objective, both personal and professional. And you can see here, they contain, in many ways, some of the things that I had wanted to get done, but in a way I'm able to expand upon them, get more out of these efforts. And so when I came to my SMART goal setting, I try to keep it to short term for now. I will, as I move forward through the semester, I'll put in the mid-range and the long-term goals. But for right now, for like a personal goal, improve my health, I'm going to work out with weights at least twice a week. I'm going to make a conscious effort to prepare all lunches and breakfasts that I eat during the week, instead of like going to a fast food place or something like that, or snacking. And then try to sleep more than 6.5 hours per night, which essentially means I need to get to bed at the very latest 10:30 at night, which is going to be difficult because I might usually try to hit like a second wind at that point to get work done, but I'm going to try not to do that anymore. And I'm going to start a notebook of tracking this each day. And sometimes when you write things down, you tend to them more often. I'm going to spend at least one night a week in my office just organizing it. So no work's being done. I'm not going to have the email open, and I'm going to just go through things and start throwing things away that are old, yet organizing what I need into folders. I have like multiple file cabinets in this office, and I've never really organized them. So I'm going to try to do that one night a week. Hopefully by March, I'm all done. I'm going to update my resume with language that I'm capturing from the exercise I'm about to show you. Same with LinkedIn profile, which really aligns with this first one of growing my consulting business. I want to get out there more. I think I've been very lazy lately. And I admit to it. That's the first step to solving a problem, is admitting to it. When I present at meetings, I got a bunch of them this spring. I am going to try to have at least one slide or a statement which promotes the consulting business that I have. Again, grow it. I'm going to, as I reach a point where I'm getting caught up with organizing my office and getting the family financials in order, I'm going to start setting aside at least 1 to 2 nights per week working on the manuscripts that I need to publish for work. And I'm going to start with my dissertation, which should be an easy transition. I had to write this basic book, and now I just have to narrow it to a manuscript to make sure that the references are updated and clean. And then finally, each Sunday, I want to prepare a to-do list for the week and anticipate what I need to do for course prep that week, because that will open up time on weekends. Or at least so that I could get everything done on one of the day in the weekends instead of trying to cram it into both. So those are my initial goals. I could put more measures in here and more detail, and I will, but I think this is a good start for me. I'm hoping that I can augment this and improve it over the month of February, and then in March actually be taking things off this list and adding new ones as I'm trying to extend into more of the other areas here. So that's me. That's how I'm starting. I'm excited to find out how you guys put this together, but that's how I did it. All right. So let me do the examples of the job search and how to make use of it. So there are two. I'm going to start with LinkedIn and Indeed. So here's my LinkedIn page. I always kind of like to look and see what's going on. This thing is always lit up for whatever reason. Nothing interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go to jobs. And now what I can do, see, it's already recommending things based on the information I have on my profile. My profile is heavily populated by my current position with UW-Whitewater as a professor. See, I think if I add additional practical language, that I'll get better recommendations. So, if I was you all, what I might type in would be safety intern. Excuse me, my sinuses are a little bit stuffed up. I'm sorry about that. So, safety intern, but it's also United States, so it's everywhere. So, depending on where you're located in the United States or where you'd like to intern, you can put it in here. So, just for sake of discussion, I'm going to put in Milwaukee. Okay. So let's see what we have here. So first of all, we have results. So results are 5 results for that. It's pretty interesting. So 5 results when I put in, and what I want to do is start tracking what I'm doing here. So I decided to use an Excel document because I'm very familiar and comfortable with using Excel. So my search date is today, which is 1/28/2024. I'm using LinkedIn. The job search thing was safety intern, location, Milwaukee. Total hits, I believe, was 5. Yep, total hits was, whoops. I hate it when that happens. Total hits was 5, and the relevancy for, I'm thinking of all of you. 1, 2, that's engineer. I don't know why it said intern. Now I'm reading this. So it says you already have to have your bachelor's degree. So that one doesn't count. Intern, safety sensing, industrial components. That's kind of cool. I think I'd heard about this one. I think I know the person who's looking to hire. Grad intern, global patient safety. Probably not. They tend to mix in patient safety with occupational safety, though it says right here very much safety management. Oh, they have different areas. There's a combination product safety grad intern. Let's see here. Currently enrolled in an MBA program. Graduated already, so that one wouldn't count. So it doesn't count. And Copeland, EHS intern. Must be enrolled. So 3 of them. So 3 of the 5 were relevant hits. And then what you can do is, I have another, that's my search tracking. I have job posting. So now what I can do is actually choose one of these. Let's just go with this one. And when was this posted? Only 2 days ago, no applicants. Where is it? It's in Cudahy. So if anybody in the class is looking, boom, hey, apply to it, right? You can apply directly through LinkedIn, but you need to have your LinkedIn page all updated and everything. Otherwise, you need to do it manually. So let's see here. You will. And now, so there's language here that you can copy and paste, into a list, and you can start pulling things out of here. Regulatory compliance programs, including lockout tech. So you could use something like that. Risk assessments, safety committee, Partner with purchasing. Ooh, that would be good, right? You know something about the cost of things. Partner with production. So those are 5 items that you can add language to both your resume and your profile. As far as experience, this is pretty basic stuff, but again, these are more things. If you're, prolific with Microsoft Office, put it on there somewhere. Good verbal, written communication. You see, the more of this language that you have on your LinkedIn page and on your resume, the higher you would score on a system which scans and evaluates this work for the recruiter. So you're basically using the system for your benefit. So let's try Madison now for a location. Madison. All right, we got one applicant for this one. Global page, so this probably is not one. It's probably similar to that one we just saw. You need to be a graduate student, graduated with a bachelor's, yeah. So that one wouldn't count. This one is in Oregon town. A bachelor. So you have to have it add 5 years. So it's a manager position. So there's only 3. So there's only one relevant for Madison. Okay, let's open the net a little bit, okay? And just put Wisconsin. It jumps to 31, though we're finding only about 50% tend to be relevant. What happens if we put in, say, Chicago? Get 40. Let's see, team leader, project handler. Here's a project safety intern, specialist, intern with UL. Let's see, specialist, another intern, Sherman-Williams. Specialist, global EHS intern. Who am I talking to this group? If anybody's interested in like a part-time position, especially if you're from Illinois, anybody here, if you're from Illinois or Indiana, if you would like a very simple remote part-time job, learning to use developing auditing programs remotely for a company, let me know. So as you're hearing this say, I got to email professor, email me. And I can put you in contact with it's a company, let's see, they're a food company. I'd kind of forgotten about it. They talked to me right before the break. And I just saw it when I was going through and updating my notebook here. Griffin Foods. Again, it would be, I think what they say, only like 8 to 10 hours a month. And it would keep going on. It's 100% virtual. You'd learn a lot about what they're doing. 6 months, max 20 a month. Okay, 4 to 5 hours per week is what they're asking for remotely. And again, you'd be using this origami risk system to set up auditing programs and safety and health metrics. Really great opportunity for anybody who wants to gain additional skills and some money while you're doing it. I forget what the pay is, but it was very good, especially for just a 4 to 5 hours per week thing. So let me know. Again, Griffin Foods. It's not posted. He's asking me to help him find somebody. Here's some other internship opportunities too. This is going a little bit longer than I'd wanted. But again, I want you to, report how many results you get, how many are relevant. So go through and kind of look at them and then capture some of the language on what they want you to have for a background and what they want you to do. And if you can narrow to those things, we can start creating a plan to add that, again, to the resume and to, look at this. This is one for environmental. If anybody's trying to get environmental, this is some great list. You can't make stuff up, obviously, but knowing that, man, I should maybe look to getting my 40-hour HAZWOPER. I used to have this. But I couldn't keep up with the recertification. But these are things that I know Bob Evangelisti covers in his class, and I know that Dr. Olson covers some of these things too. I'm doing some of these things right now. There's a lot of great information here. And again, this is the type of taxonomy or wording that these scanning systems use to try and prioritize recruits. Yeah. So what I'm going to do I'm going to put this on Wisconsin again. Is I'm going to type in, like, I think when I did it before, EHS manager was the best combination of terms. 97 hits. Some of these are just manager, and I'd rather be like a director type level. But at least I can gather language here. So I think there might be some like global level things, corporate level. I wonder what happens if I put in global safety. Because 97 is too many hits to look through. Global safety. Only one. Okay, bad term. Let's go VP of safety. Safety director, senior director, service director. Yeah, so this is a better term for me then. VP of safety or director of safety. So let's see. Is there anything here that looks really interesting? Not really want to do construction. Parago, associate director. So you're not like the top person. So look here. So scope of the role. So there's some great. And so implement, maintain EHS policy programs, procedures, manage a team, oversee security, conduct regular audits, inspections, training. I mean, what it's doing is it's starting to create a, when they review your LinkedIn profile or your resume, they're looking for you to speak to what kind of experience you have or what kind of education or certifications you have that says you can do these things. And the more of them that align to what they want and they're desired as well, the higher you get on their priority list for coming in for an interview. Of course, then you have to pass the interview. But again, this is for setting up the interview, and if it's something you're interested in, that's good. But this is something you have a little bit of control over. You can actually win against an automated system that's ranking applicants. So that's what I want you to do. Indeed is sort of the same thing. Safety intern. Here's Wisconsin. Relevance. How many do we have? 74 jobs. Oshkosh. It says right here how long ago. Depending on where you are, again, we could put in Madison. Okay, that's the one we saw before. Student co-op with Edgerton contractors. Safety engineer with Dave Jones. That's actually a hired position. That one's 30 plus days ago. Oh, let's see. That's interesting. 20 to 30 an hour. Oh, it's a job though, isn't it? What do you need to have for background? Just experience? Interesting. Oh, high school equivalent. That's all you need. Is this on safety? Individuals prioritize safety. Okay, interesting, right? There are only 5. Okay, what if I put in Chicago? Actually, I'm going to put in Minneapolis this time. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Let's see what it is for safety internships. Seagate, of course, 43 jobs. Technology intern, EHS intern, risk intern, summer internship, don't know much else. Career Enterprise Risk Analysis, CHS in Inver Grove Heights. I know where that is. Okay. EHS at DuPont. Cybersecurity, food, payment risk operations, student technician, plant health intern in Lakeville. So here these are internships, a lot of them, but not all of them are safety, but they may have corporate EHS engineering safety intern, IP corporation. It's interesting because the closest college degree programs in safety are UMD, in which there's only like 8 people enrolled, and Stout, in which there's maybe 12 to 18 students enrolled. They're both master's level programs and undergraduate. We're pretty much the closest, though Iowa State, I think South Dakota School for Mining may still have an emphasis in safety, Platteville. So it seems like a long way away, 4-5 hours, but there's still internships depending on where you want to go. And this had a lot, man. That really came up. Safety intern. Let's try Chicago. Chicago, Illinois. Let's see. What do we have? 82. Again, human resources is there. Health and safety. I think we saw that one before. Walsh Group. Safety internship program. Sherwin-Williams. Canadian Railway. I should be looking at making sure it's safety first. Global EHS intern. That sounds interesting. Let's see. Currently enrolled in a bachelor's degree or master's degree. Okay. So, a lot of opportunities from an internship perspective. Not as great for the level that I'm looking at. Let's see. Liberty Mutual. Libbity Bibbity. So I'll probably take the information down from here. And this one actually has a salary range, so the low is really low. I'll capture some of this. Oh, it's a very short list. I'm more interested in like loss control, data analytics, and so I may curve my search terms to try and capture more of that. And then, like I said, what I'll do is for each position, I'll try to capture responsibilities and qualifications, and then I'll go through and kind of narrow it to lists of words and phrases that I want to put on my profiles so that I'll be contacted more for those types of positions. Or if they look at me, they may go, hey, we want you to come in. You've got a really great background, exactly what we're looking for. It's like, I cheated. I looked at your stuff. I wouldn't tell them that, but I mean, as long as you're not out and out lying and just stealing from them directly, well, that would be immoral, unethical. But what we're trying to do is get contacted for the interview. You know, that's what this exercise is all about. So back to the thing here, that what I really want you to do is to find ways to improve your chances for getting called, at least to show up on the contact. So again, to the agenda, what I want you to do is make a table. It can be in Microsoft Word, written out, whatever you want to do. Table of the positions you're finding based on its search terms and the relevance of them, ones you're interested in at least. If you apply for anything, make note of that. Then you can track it and know when to contact them if you're not hearing back. And then create a table with the language, with the responsibilities and qualifications. And if you can, narrow it to a list of phrases and words that you're going to try to add to your resume and LinkedIn. Okay? And for this week's PPDP, what I want you to do is, based on everything we've done, so do this last, would be to revisit your initial goals. I'm going to revisit them based on the work I do this week and try to add more of the SMART elements to it. And I'm going to start a notebook of my progress. And my progress will help me redefine, reword my goals. And it'll start me in how I'm going to track my progress. Yeah? So that's what I need you to do. So it's less items, but I think a little bit more work to do. Again, this is only week 2. So based on what I get from you guys at the end of next week, I'll kind of combine all the work we're doing and then report back to you all. So that's everything I got. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, good luck.